There is no person on planet Earth that believes Donald Trump has been celibate all his life. That is not news. But they want to drag him through the gutter.
It's been on and off, in and out of court in the Donald Trump felony case. Unlike several other court cases, it only gets better because the drama doesn't appear to be going anywhere anytime soon. Although he has a son's graduation to attend as an ardent family man he's allegedly become in 2024.
Oh, is someone else the focus now? In that case, say goodbye to your leather couch.
That's not the main focus of attention today. Instead, here is who has earned herself the new center of recognition, albeit overshadowed by the ever-interesting back-and-forth Stormy Trump showdown.
Favorite people, oh, she's so smart. I hope she's around. She is an incredible woman. She's a brilliant woman, doesn't get credit for it, but we all know about that stuff. Marjorie Taylor.
Donald Trump holds her in high regard and appears to think of her as overly intelligent and special.
Marjorie has clearly gone off the deep end, maybe the result of a space laser.
That's a Republican. That's a Republican saying.
However, Seth Meyers, the ever-funny gentleman, does not. And guess what? Her fellow Republicans don't agree either.
There's also 1 million people coming to Washington, D.C. on January 6th, and I'm very, very proud of all the people that are coming. We have a very important job to do on January 6th. Now, I'm up here in Washington, D.C. I'm getting ready for the week next week. We have a lot going on. You know, on Sunday, January 3rd, I'll be sworn in. But the reason why I'm here in Washington is I'm getting prepared, doing a lot of work, still meeting with a lot of folks and gathering information for our January 6th objection. Now, all of us know this election has been stolen.
We might not have known about this if it hadn't been for her recent attempt to oust House of Representatives Speaker Mike Johnson on May 8th, 2024.
For what purpose does a gentlewoman from Georgia seek recognition?
Of Rule 9, I seek recognition to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. The form of the resolution is as follows: declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant.
Which was met with a hurricane of boos and labeled a goofball.
Party for the American people watching.
I love that she thinks the American people are watching C-SPAN on a Wednesday at 5 p.m.
Seth doesn't seem to want to leave out the details, such as how she believes Americans are so bored and jobless that they tune into C-SPAN on a Wednesday at 5 p.m., and the joke gets even better when he emphasizes that not even those in the C-SPAN control room watch it. For him, it's all a joke. Marjorie Greene, on the other hand, seems to be used to receiving boos in the House, and her reaction demonstrates that she remains unconcerned about soaking up all the hate.
So now, even Republican Taylor Greene, contrary to popular opinion, she's actually very smart. She doesn't get credit for it. Most people think she's dumb as ask around. I tell them they're wrong all the time. I meet people who say to me, her IQ is the same as her shoe size.
It, however, appears likely that her preposterous moment in American politics may be over. Seth compares her to a variety of unusual scenarios, which are both honest and humorous comparisons.
I feel if I had it my way, we would have impeached him a long time ago. Actually, if I had it my way, we would have been successful in our objection on January 6th, and he wouldn't even be president. I'm getting better, though. We'll get there. So,
her recent actions, however, may be the final straw because her fellow Republicans are now openly criticizing her in public, and it appears that this will only get worse. What are the chances she'll keep her seat as representative in the near future, unless her favorite fan somehow reclaims the presidential ticket in November 2024 and protects his intelligent, exceptional, and loving political woman?
Skip right to the Trump chapter. So let's skip right to the Trump chapter.
Jimmy, you're so predictable.
But That may be a more complex bet for her because the man who has always found a way to be the center of the world's attention, despite his absence from the presidential seat for nearly 4 years, is once again in all American newspapers and channels for an alleged defrauding of voters by falsifying records to make hush money payments to silence probably the most popular porn star in America today, Stormy Daniels.
Persecution like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And again, it's a case that should have never been brought. It's an assault.
But before we get into that, there's no denying that Republicans are in bad shape. And right now, it's one of the worst times to be a Republican.
Hey, Republicans, maybe do some reflection about how you got here. Democrats certainly have their own problems, but they don't have this problem. You never see them paralyzing Congress, holding press conferences to on each other and booing one of their own.
Regardless of how many critics they've received, Democrats do not appear to have as many internal divisions as Republicans do, with most of them content to mock their colleagues, and their conferences have become more of a comedy than a solemn political gathering.
For Republicans, you guys elevated Marjorie Taylor Greene, so if you're mad at anyone, be mad at yourselves. The guy you all supported for president is her biggest fan. He's repeatedly praised.
It's surprising that the woman whom all Republicans elevated to such status in Congress and who was passionately praised by one of their most successful candidates, Donald Trump, is the target of so much hatred.
Oh, and one of my favorite people. Oh, she's so smart.
Perhaps, as our most popular man in America stated, she really doesn't get credit for everything she does.
They say things to me like if her age were the same as her IQ, she wouldn't be old enough to vote. No, really? They say things to me like, Marjorie Taylor Greene is so dumb she sold her car for gas money. Which is unfair because she's a smarty pants.
Let's take a moment to appreciate Seth's comedic relief on stage, which inevitably includes an element of old man Trump. All these explain the Republicans' poor candidate choices and how, while they continue to show unrivaled support for Donald Trump, they probably don't think of Marjorie Greene as a member or even a person.
Stormy Daniels, allegedly directing Michael Cohen to pay her $130,000 so that she wouldn't go public, saying she had sex with Mr. Trump, something he maintains never.
As for the porn star who chose to come forward despite receiving hush payments of up to $130,000, we cannot officially stamp it just yet because he has not been found guilty of the crime.
Republicans, you created a political movement that elevated these people, and you're still supporting Trump, even as he sits in court day after day, facing allegations that he defrauded voters by covering up a hush money payment to a porn star he had an affair with just months after his wife.
Put simply, by keeping this secret, Trump deceived the American people. If this had come to light before his 2016 presidential campaign, he likely would have not won or even been the Republican Party's nominee. One man he enlisted to help him pull this off, Michael Cohen, has lately joined the anti-Trump forces despite having been a close ally of Trump in the past, sometimes referred to as his fixer and attorney for about 12 years.
It is not news, but they want to drag him through the gutter because this is a political smear job.
The fact that Donald Trump had sex with a porn star just months after the birth of his son shouldn't be a huge deal, as simply stated. Jane Rosenberg called the whole affair a political smear campaign in a statement that she released on Fox News, pointing out that the majority of these events were undoubtedly caused by Trump's plan to run for president again in the upcoming elections.
First of all, a smear job is one of the things Trump paid hush money to cover up. In fact, here's the sound he made when he got that smear job.
Oh.
But that's not going down without a fight from Seth Meyers, who not only revives our favorite Trump video from earlier in the day, but also labels his involvement with Marjorie Greene's political rise and his support for her smear job, for which he likely paid hush money, to keep quiet.
She eventually wanted to publicly announce she had sex with Trump.
Daniels said no, nobody would ever want to say publicly, I wanted to publicly defend myself. So they're saying no one would ever want to publicly say that they had sex with Trump.
Even more embarrassing for Trump, we can't help but wonder how a man with Trump's charisma, zeal, and expressive abilities is managing to stay on top of this.
So Trump's lawyers asked Stormy Daniels if she planned to publicly announce that she had sex with Trump, and Stormy responded under oath that nobody would ever want to admit they had sex with Trump. Ooh. And Trump just has to sit.
In this case, Stormy Daniels expresses that no one would ever be proud to say she had sex with Donald Trump. But for slight deviation, is he that gross? But let's go back. She reportedly said this in response to being asked if money was her driving force in all of this. It really only gets more humiliating.
On Tuesday, in which she described the dorky silk pajamas he was wearing and the moment she spanked him on the ass with a magazine that had his face on it, and Trump just had to listen.
In this case, Seth is absolutely right. Trump's trial would be a living nightmare as he sits there and listens to disgusting accusations made against him by multiple people, as well as more embarrassing sex stories from the storm that has finally arrived to derail his 2024. Seth does not fail to bring back his sleep case, which was previously trending, and his comedic statements about it do not disappoint. It would undoubtedly keep him awake, if not dead.
When you said orange turd, Daniels, oh, I absolutely meant Mr. Trump necklace. Then why didn't you say that a minute ago?
Because I thought it was obvious.
It's clear that Trump's lawyers are working tirelessly to prove Stormy Daniels wrong, and that includes going through all of her social media accounts. However, as evidenced by the hilarious scene, it appears they're doing more to humiliate the old man than to help him.
You could write orange turd on a piece of mail and that would be enough for it to get to me.
Susan Neckles' back and forth with the trending Trump antagonist of 2024 is nothing short of a comedy splash in the midst of a pool of everything serious.
It's also been implied that Stormy Daniels got into bed with Trump and let him do whatever he wanted just to advance her career.
It's not every day that we hear about an orange turd in a public toilet. In fact, the orange turd is what brought us here today, which is hilarious. Stormy refers to Trump as an orange turd, which appears to be very similar to the topic.
That during their encounter, Donald Trump did not wear a condom. He tried to put one on, but he was blocked by his tie.
It's unfortunate that there are no cameras in the courtroom to see Don's reaction to being called an orange turd by a woman. He'll have to sit and watch, probably plotting evil things to do to her if he finally becomes president again.
Trump, what? Daniel, see? Trump, snore. Prosecutor, Your Honor, the defendant is sleeping. Trump, oh my God, my testicles. Daniels.
But Seth appears to have created an excellent script for how it might have appeared to play out, as well as a laugh-inducing Donald Trump mimicry of the situation. Do you all agree that he sounds more Donald-y than Trump himself?
There should be a moment of reckoning and self-reflection. Anyone who calls themselves a Republican should be asking themselves, how do we end up here? The guy they support.
In the end, this entire web of complexity isn't just about Trump today or even Marjorie Greene, despite the number of boos. It's about everyone who calls themselves a Republican, as Seth seems to emphasize. Their presidential candidate is facing felony charges, and his smear job has been met with a barricade of attacks from her fellow Republicans.
Massive sense of gravitas and importance because you know that this is history in the making, and whatever the outcome of this is, everything going forward will be affected by it.
We promised you one more on Trump's case and all the drama, and we're sure not going to stop here on this eyebrow-raising drama. This courtroom drama is about more than just a dropped gavel, and the Republicans' boos aren't the loudest chants either. Stay tuned, but first, let's take another look at this one-of-a-kind Trump piece.
Out in rallies.
Oh, and one of my favorite people, oh, she's so smart.
It never grows old, does it?